make sure to save your Illustrator. Make sure it's saved fully 100%. Your layers are all renamed. These are some important things you need to take note of and do. They're all renamed, and like we have here, how many objects? It's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So just 10 elements. Let's call them elements. So go to After Effects, and I don't know this error is coming up, but I'll troubleshoot it later. So create a new project, and you can just call this mantra. Remember, that's what we're trying to animate here. Mantra. Okay. So I want to make it a 10 seconds. I wouldn't know why that error. 10. I'll make it 10 here. Alright, something I want to explain here also. This new composition must be 1080 by 1080. Initially, when you come, you might find like this HDV. No, HDV. There's a settings it does have. Yeah, HDTV 1920 by 1080, and it will be locked. The locked aspect ratio. This is what you meet by default. Okay, well, we're going to change that, so we unlock it, and because we want what we used here when we're setting up was 1080 by 1080. That's it there, showing there. That's what we used. So we're going to maintain that here. I don't know why it's giving me that error. I hope it's not going to crash. 1080 by 1080. Okay, so this was 9.7, and this 10 seconds and 29 frames. So the background doesn't matter because we have a background coming in. Okay, so then we import. So you get to your projects and you press Ctrl I, or you right click and you see import, which is also Ctrl I, file. So where did we save it? Yeah, I think it's here, mantra. So we import. Now when you import, it's going to ask you a question. Okay, by default it will be saying footage, say no, composition, and this will be grayed out. And layer size, footage dimension should be layer size. Very important, please don't do document size, you will not like yourself. Alright, so click OK, and there we have it. So mantra. Okay, because we named the composition mantra, and what we imported from Illustrator is also mantra, so we have mantra 2. That's exactly what it's showing here. mantra 2. So it is the 2 that we imported. Well, inside these folders are all the elements. You see it's bg mantra .1 mantra .2. That is trying to tell you that it's inside mantra. Okay, you know this folder thing now. Alright, so the one we want to drag into this place, this is mantra now. Okay, when you are working the timeline, each tab opened can mean a composition. That's what it means, or a pre-composition. Okay, I will explain that pre-composition in next class. Well, what I want to do here is I want to drag this mantra into this place, and you will see it's exactly how we arranged it. Nothing moved about or scattered. Okay, and you want to double click on this to open up a new tab 1 and open you up to all the elements inside. Okay, because this is only one layer, so when you double click on it, you have a new tab. Still having that error coming up. Sorry, it won't happen in the next class. I'll take my time to troubleshoot it. So we have these dots. We have these layers all lined up. Okay, I'm not going to go into deep what you should do and how you should do some things, but for now you can animate these layers now. That's what it means, because they are individual layers. Okay, if we take the arrangement one at a time, how they should come in. This is the background, this is the pattern. Okay, one thing we can do is we can put off all the visibilities of other layers, and that's how I like to start. I like to start with few being visible, and not just all being visible, because it can be deceptive at times. Okay, so with that, I can animate the pattern. I'm just scrolling my mouse wheel to bring it forward. I can hold down the space bar. So now one thing I want to do is I want this guy to come in when the animation starts. So in the first seconds, which is 1 second, you can also type it here. I move the time indicator there. This guy should have arrived. Okay, like it came from outside of the screen in. So because it's already designed that this is how it will look. Okay, what I like to do is to first of all mark the position from here, then go back and take it away from that point. That's what I like to do. But it will bring us first to our first keyframe, which is the position keyframe. The position keyframe is with the shortcut P. Okay, shortcut P. Once you press P, it will bring up this time, this stop timer, okay, icon, and tell you position. Then these values are trying to say the position this object is in relation to X and Y axis. That's how After Effects reads its position. Is varied on X and Y axis. So 94 or 941.6 on X axis and 934 on Y axis. So meaning we can edit these values. Okay, we can edit it here on the timeline, or we can also adjust it here on the composition without having to worry about many digits in our head. So what I like to do is I like to lock this position where it is, and to lock is simply to keyframe it. That's to tell you this is where you should be at 1 second. At 1 second you should be here. So wherever you are before 1 second, immediately it is 1 second, make sure you are finding your way to this point. So I click on that and it's locked there. You have this keyframe showing there. So now I can press home. Remember, I thought it was the shortcut key in the last class. Home, and it goes back to home. Nothing will happen, because by the time you play, if you play animation, if you want to play animation, you can press the 0 on the numpad. If you press the 0, nothing will happen. That's the indicator or the animation playing, because the indicator is still there, but the animation is playing with that red. So it will play to the end and come back. It's a loop. It will keep looping and looping, and nothing will happen. Okay, but when the indicator is still there, by the time I want to move this, the play will stop, because anytime you enter your composition, you click on the play will stop. And also take note that the indicator does not move, because there are times the indicator moves when you try to stop it. Okay, so the indicator will move. So make sure your indicator is where you want it to be. Then you can just simply take this object by selecting it. If these 4 things are not showing when you click, then you can click here so that it will be visible, because when you click, sometimes it's still visible and it's showing. There's also another way, Control Shift H, and that's it, show layer controls. Okay, sometimes I activate it with this, and I don't know why it doesn't deactivate. That's the funny thing. Okay, alright, so if it's not showing, you can activate it with this and it will show. The only problem is that it doesn't deactivate. At least you and I saw it now. Alright, so I can now move this, not dragging by the sides but at the center. Drag take it away from the screen, okay, somewhere here, and it creates another keyframe. So this keyframe has a new position. You can see it now. It's not the same as the previous. Now to toggle between keyframes, okay, use JK. J for the keyframe behind, K for the keyframe in front. At least when you see your JK in the keyboard, you know that one is back, one is in front. So if I press K now, I move to the second keyframe. And the second keyframe, we have a number here on the X and Y axis, corresponding to the X and Y axis, different from when we go back to the other keyframe, which is a different number. So that is telling you that it's going to travel through these numbers down to the number Y play. So let's take it home and press the 0 key. So you see that. So that's exactly what happens. It comes into screen. Now I'm going to show you a new shortcut key because I don't want this thing to be playing to the end before we watch the new one. Okay, so somewhere around 3 seconds, I want this thing to stop, to loop around 3 seconds. That's the play, to loop around 3 seconds. It doesn't matter the animation with 3 seconds, but just let it just loop around. So when I get to that point, I press N. N means end and B means beginning. Okay, so N is for the end, B is for the beginning. The beginning is when I want this one to start from here. For instance, I can press B, so this starts from here. So you can also use your mouse to drag it to where you want, to the point you want. But most times I find the shortcuts handy. Okay, so if you say 4 seconds, fine. So when I loop now, when I play now, it will loop around the 4 seconds. 4 seconds is even too much, so let me end it here. 3 seconds. So you see now we have the objects coming in. So now let me bring this to the center, and to do that is Alt and the question mark key or backslash. The question mark and backslash are the same on the keyboard. So it comes to the center so we can see other parts of the screen. Alright, so we are seeing our animation play, and the only thing we did here is position. That's what we did here. So let's introduce the next thing now, which is a logo. I just made it visible. So this logo should also come by the side. We are just going to play with position, and maybe I might introduce scaling. Okay, so stop now the animation and hold on the hand key until we have the hand. So it's not so bad when the pattern comes in. Let me change the color of this to sandstone. Yeah, so we know the layer we are right now. So when the pattern comes in, you know, or while it's coming in, the logo can be coming in. Okay, so somewhere around the midpoint here, 15 frames, I want the logo to start getting ready to come in. Okay, but I have to go and lock its position first. So I'll move this indicator 3 times, holding the shift, page up, page down, shift and page down. 1, 10 frame, 2, 20 frames, 3. So we are in 1 second and 15 frames. Remember, we did this in the previous class. So this is where I want the time rather. I want the logo to appear. So with that, I press the P again, and I'll activate the position keyframe and create a keyframe, and I move back again, shift and page up 3 times. That's 30 frames, and I take it out. I send it out like it should come from outside. So that is exactly what it will do. So let me show everything now. So why the pattern is coming in, the logo is coming in, you get. So that's exactly how I want it. So now the same thing will also happen to the handle. So the handle, let me change the view, switch as here. So same thing, P, while at 1 second while the logo is coming in. You should also, okay, no, let's take it forward. Maybe at 2 seconds now. And take it up. Okay. And then we have 3 things coming in almost at the same time. That's exactly what's happening. So we're having that. Now I'm going to show you the function of this keyframe wingman. Okay, when you select 2 keyframes, if you watch the way they are moving, they are coming in, the animation does not have life in it. It's just moving like even robot is doing well in its movement. So I don't really like the movement. Okay, but so what you can do is, when you select 2 keyframes, you can come here and click on this. What it does is to make the movement smoother. Okay, we have this, we call it easy in or easy ease or easy out, but what it means is that it can start fast and come and end slow, or start slow and end fast. So, but however, if you play with this, you will notice something different. First, on your keyframe is no longer the same, and if you watch how it comes in, it's not like others. Yeah. So it comes in last, but it comes in with very faster momentum. Let's try the same thing on the logo. This time around, I will break this link here, which is saying 100 here, 100 here. So I'll break this link here and take this one down here and select it. So we have this same thing you are seeing here, the same thing I showed here. And so this one comes in even faster. See that? Okay, I'm going to do the same thing to the pattern, but this time around I'm going to stop somewhere at the middle here, 55. I just want you to play, in your own case, play around it, and now you see the patterns. So it comes in subtly. This is actually my preference, okay, but it's okay, you can do anything you want. Right now, to the learn. So for learn, we're going to use a new type of command, not that of position. We're going to use opacity. Okay, you guys must have known what opacity is. We're going to animate opacity, and to do that, I'm going to select the length. First of all, let me change it to something of orange, so that it is clear in the eye. Alright, so the color will change here. I hope it doesn't affect the color here. So I'm going to bring it up. I think, yeah, I'm going to bring it up with transparency. So first, let's determine where it's going to come in once these 3 objects have come in. So we can say from here it should start planning to come in. Alright, so opacity here is not O, just like P is for position. Rather, opacity is T. So when you press T, opacity shows up. So you can go to the point where you want it to have shown up and click on it. It's 100%, is measured in percentage. Okay, then you go back and take it to 0. 0 means not visible. This error again. Just let me save and be on the safe side. Marker mantra. Alright, so in case if anything happens to our After Effects, so the same thing. I have done the animation right now, 0% at start, and you see that it just shows up.